Hey folks, Matt Sharp here with another Pacific Angler Friday Fishing Report. This is where we look at current events around the fishing industry, we touch base on politics, and obviously we go over the fishing. I'm filming for December 6th, so if it's nowhere near December 6th, please click up here. This is a link to all our Friday Fishing Reports. We do it every week, so we probably got something a little bit more up to date for you. Now, most guys on YouTube are running around in Santa Claus outfits and listing off all the stuff they want for Christmas. We're not going to do that this week. I want to look at the fishing because we've got weather that looks beautiful for winter fishing. We're going to have a little bit of rain, which is key because we had really cold temperatures last week. I froze my butt off out there, but the temperatures are going to increase dramatically. We're looking at 8s and 9s on the temperature gauge, as well as that little bit of rain, which should be perfect for steelhead scouting as well as egg fishing. We're going to touch base on that on our major fisheries. I'm also going to touch base a little bit on some conservation issues. We've had one on the Squamish that's been going back and forth over the last month or two that I want to touch base on, as well as I want to update you guys on the interior steelhead front. We also have a fly for you guys. I did it this week. It was a basic steelhead fly, but one that I've used for years in my steelhead box. So you beginner tyers should have no problem tackling it, but you advanced guys might want to take note. You can bap off a bunch of them quickly, and it was a mainstay in my guide box. As always, guys, you want to see more fishing reports like this, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's get into the fishing report. Okay guys, I want to jump right into it, and as always, for full disclosure, I am filming on Wednesday night, so we're going to have about 48 hours before you guys see this, but at least when I'm sitting here, the weather forecast looks excellent for the weekend. So as always, check your weather before you get out, but I think if it holds true what we're seeing tonight, we should have a really good weekend to go fishing. So let's pull it up here. We'll pull up Vancouver first, get an idea of what we're going to be getting in around here. We're seeing temperatures that are almost hitting 10 degrees on Friday and Saturday. We're seeing a bit of rain, so for any of the local fishing, that should be excellent. But more importantly for our major rivers, let's look up at the Squamish. And when we pull her up, we're seeing a little bit more rain. We're seeing 10 on Thursday as we're editing this video, and then we're seeing 15 to 20. I'm not concerned about that 15 to 20 with the time of year, but you do see this 10 degrees, and that could be awesome. I still have some caveats on that. I will definitely be breaking out brighter presentations when I'm going out this weekend, or at least have them in the box in case I walk into a dirty river. But I'm looking forward to what I see here. Then on Saturday, it goes down to 1 mil, so if you're getting out Saturday, that should be perfect. Sunday looks beautiful as well. Rolling over to Chilliwack, we are going to see it be a little less water that way just because of the push of the interior. We're looking at 2 to 4 millimeters when we're coming down to Thursday, 5 millimeters on Friday. So again, we should see that water, I will say, color up a little bit, but it shouldn't come close to blowing out. And then our temperatures right there, 11 degrees, that's going to be beautiful. Now, it is warm. There is a risk right now of some, I'll say, snow melt and everything loosening up top in the hills. So again, it will be a bring larger presentations, but we might see some perfect conditions for doing a heavy steelhead scout, or if you're out egging on the Squamish or any of the rivers around Lower Mainland, this little bump of water, this heat, should get the fish moving, should also get a lot of those eggs out of the gravel. But again, not too much eggs or too many eggs to have a concern for the fisheries in general, which sometimes we see when we get those massive spikes of water this time of year. You know, moving channels of the river back and forth can be really bad for those eggs trapped in the gravel. In this week's fishing report, we are going to be looking at how to build a steelhead leaderboard, what you will need for pure essentials. But if you guys are advanced guys, know this already, you might want to review some of your homework, so to say. But Alex is building, and it's what he takes with him when he's going out on a steelhead scout. He's going to talk you through what he's going to use early season, what he's going to use in different conditions. That'll be in the links down below in the full fishing report. He's also got a little bit of an update on what's going on the Vedder. We're on a different front completely. Ice fishing started. We're starting to see a bunch of guys in the interior and up Pemberton Way do well with the ice fishing. And so Aiden's got a little overview. We are stocking some pretty cool ice fishing stuff. Bare essentials, because obviously down here in Vancouver, there's not a lot of opportunity unless you drive into the interior up to Pemberton. But it is a cool way to spend the weekend if you're up there on the holidays, visiting friends and family. Come check it out. We've got some cool lures, and Aiden will have more details in that report below. So as always in these reports, obviously it's about the fishing. We want to get you guys maximizing your time on the water, but I also like to take the opportunity to talk about conservation issues, give you guys a place to at least find this information and educate yourself so you can form your own opinion on things. It's hard to find some of this information sometimes, and it can get very cloudy and complicated. Two issues I wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to keep it brief, but I'm going to give you guys the info that you can do your homework afterwards. The first one's on the Squamish, and obviously the Squamish is very close to my heart. I love fishing up there. And you may have already heard about this, but there were some issues this year in the pink salmon season when water drops stranded a bunch of fish, and it was BC Hydro dropping water levels at a fairly high rate. There was an article in the Chief a few weeks back, one that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention, that lays out a number of the concerns as well as a response from BC Hydro. But my biggest takeaway from reading through this article multiple times was the DFO has a recommended level at which to drop a river. It's not one that anyone has to hold to, but it is their recommended number, and I think it's 2.5 centimeters per hour. BC Hydro is not following that. They're dropping them at a much higher rate than that, and it begged the question why a government agency can make a recommendation and then a government corporation can then disregard that recommendation. I'd like you guys to take a read of the article. There's a lot more information on that. I'm going to leave links in the description below, but if you want a good Sunday read, this is one. Now on the other front, we had some more updates on the steelhead numbers on the upper Fraser, and this is obviously one you guys know is really close to my heart, and it's not a good situation. This one came out on November 29th. This is on Fishing with Rod's Facebook account, so check that out. It's a good one to follow because he gives really good up-to-date information. And basically what this says is there's a 95% chance that the status will be classified as an extreme conservation issue. They have the numbers, and they're vetting more numbers in for this season. And again, it doesn't look good, and I don't want us to forget about these fish. And this will have some implications coming down the pipes of how it's dealt with moving forward. So I want you guys to check that out. There's also some quite interesting graphs to look at numbers and how they've declined over the last 20 years. So a good resource, again, to be fully educated on what's going on up there. Now, the last one is an overview, and the Watershed Watch is an online publication that I follow. I enjoy the information that they come out with. It's a good baseline. I won't say it's overly biased. It obviously leans towards protecting rivers, but they tend to have good information in it. They are doing a donation run right now. So if you wanted to throw your coffee money, or maybe a little more than your coffee money, at a cool publication and subscribe to them, they keep things up to date. And they came out with their 2019 overview. And a lot of people ask questions about how was the salmon? How was the overview? It's a really good idea to get a picture of the whole thing. And that whole thing is extremely complicated. But this is a good place to start. Again, I'll put more links in the descriptions. You guys have some homework for you. I'm sorry to bore you with conservation issues, but as you know, I think they're really important. I think you guys think they're really important, so I'm going to keep bringing them to you. Now, a little bit more fun. Let's talk about the fly front. So this week I did another video on a fly that I've used in my steelhead box for many years. It's actually one I played around with at our fly tying jam session. Showed a number of you guys there, but it's called the River Rat. It's very simple, very easy. You can pump out a bunch of them, and that's kind of the key. Have a bunch of them very similar sizes. You'll get used to tying the pattern. You'll get used to playing with the proportions. Then if you make it in different weights, you can cover a bunch of different scenarios in the steelhead world. I'm going to give I'll link it up here, links down here as well. Check that one out if you want some weekend fly tying, if you're not going to be able to make it out on the water. And as always, guys, if you guys want to see more stuff like this on conservation, on fly tying, on current fisheries, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Hit that like button, and we'll see you in next week's report.